Remember to hit that subscribe button.
It's Against the Grain Sports. We are back with the headline news in the NBA. Hey, it's a few things going on in the NBA. We got the Rockets released DeMarcus Cousins. How do you feel about that?
I didn't see it coming. I thought he was actually.
But they just gave him a 2-year guaranteed contract.
Yeah, it must have been some different disagreements. I thought with him playing with John Wall, he was going to be able to rejuvenate his career. But I feel real unfortunate for the gentleman right now.
No, I'm sorry, not a 2-year. They guaranteed his contract for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I mean they do that all the time. Most NBA contracts are guaranteed money anyway. But I really thought that they were going to try to turn it around in Houston. Lakers were talking about maybe picking him up.
Yeah.
I don't even know how effective that's going to be because he can't really pick and roll situations. He don't have that explosiveness anymore to get that lob. I don't know. I don't know where he ends up at.
Is he a liability? Is that why the Rockets released him?
I think
Because I thought he was playing pretty good.
he only averaged 9.6 points per game, and he was coming off the bench. So I think once DeMarcus Cousins realized at this point in his career he's a reserve, I think that's when he'll start getting more deals.
Other news: we got the firing of Ryan Saunders in Minnesota. How do you feel about that? What's
Well, you
going
know,
on?
I'm gonna go ahead. This is Against the Grain Sports, so I'm gonna tell it exactly how I feel. He should have never got the job in the first place.
He should have never, because it's Flip Saunders.
We can't keep doing this nostalgia stuff. We got to start getting coaches opportunities to be great. You just letting this guy, he was 34 years old, and you let him, it was 32 when he got the job. He was there for 2 years. He only won 43 games. He lost over 90 games.
Wow.
You know, and the thing about it is his dad was an outstanding coach. But and I'm going to go ahead and say it, when are we going to start letting some of these black coaches get an opportunity? I know the NBA is about 83% African American, but if you look at the culture ranks, it's probably about 70% dominant.
But they had a black coach. They had Sam Mitchell.
Yeah, and he did well. He actually made.
He actually did, and they fired him.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand that, but just talking about Flip Saunders' son, I think it was definitely nostalgia. Rest in peace, Flip Saunders. He did what he did, but he had some great players up there. He had Steph, and he had KG, and he had Tom Gugiana up there.
Kabali Goop.
Hey, remember he had my man Wally Zerbiak. Man, they had some players up there, man. Anthony Pillar. So you know
they had my guy that passed away on this Malik Sealy.
Yeah, remember before we go on to the next. Remember that Minnesota already hired a head coach. They hired Fitch from Toronto, the assistant coach. They did not go through a process of even bringing guys in. They automatically hired them.
So they basically already knew who they were.
They knew this was in the works. But this is my thing, kind of transitioning, but in the same lane. Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to be another great Minnesota player that's going to leave, and he's going to go somewhere else.
I'm gonna go against the grain. Karl Anthony Towns is not great. I think he's good, but he's not great, and he's not good enough to impact the game from start to beginning. Have you watched Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah, I definitely watched him. But this is the thing. If you look at any of those guys, Kevin Garnett and Kevin Love, that eventually left, and both of them won championships. I thought both of those guys at the time that they left Minnesota was one of the better power forwards in the league. And I think the same way with Karl Anthony Towns, because there's not a lot of true big men in the league. He can stretch the floor, he can shoot the J, he can score in the paint if necessary, but the game has changed. I think if he goes to an organization that already has some great perimeter play, I think he becomes to be a definitely good piece.
What about his defense though? Like his defense is suspect. Like this is my thing. If you're gonna be a big man in the NBA, you at least gotta be able to alter some shots at a higher rate than I would say 20% of the plays.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean everybody's scoring on Minnesota. So
everybody's scoring on everybody, but it's just different. Like if you watch Minnesota play, you see Anthony Towns' greatness as far as offensively, but he still takes bad shots as well. But on defense, it's like he doesn't put as much energy into defense as he does on offense.
Well, let me go ahead and go against the grain slightly. The reason why he's not playing defense because nobody's making him play defense. And I think he was too young when they had Thibodeau.
Thibodeau, yeah.
When he was there and Jimmy Butler was there and he was forcing him to play defense, he didn't like that.
Right.
Because he's in his first contract. A lot of guys that's young in their first contract they really don't know what the NBA is about. It's like they're having fun. They weren't worried about winning or anything like that. But now he's becoming that veteran guy. And no coach is pushing him. You can't put that young guy Saunders in there to be his head coach. He needs to be actually coached. And I don't think Fitz is going to get everything out of him. What's going to happen to Karl-Anthony Towns, he's going to leave. If he was playing for I think he'd be a great fit in San Antonio. If he played for San Antonio under Gregg Popovich, not saying he can be a Tim Duncan, but he can mold him like a Tim Duncan. So if San Antonio, you listen, you know that's my squad. Y'all, hey, make a call to Minnesota.
So what are we doing in San Antonio? LaMarcus Aldridge and some picks?
Man, listen, man.
And a couple players?
Yeah, I mean, they got some picks, but hey, quiet is kept. San Antonio is 16-11.
Yeah, San Antonio has been playing some ball. But y'all getting healthy.
Yeah.
Y'all starting to get healthy, too.
Speaking about health, I guess it's that load management stuff, man. But that's probably what
But your Spurs started that.
Wait a minute, you're not going to blame
Yeah,
Popovich
started that with Tim Duncan. He started that.
Tim Duncan was 800 years old. He needed
but y'all the one that started load management.
Listen, man, I dig that, but what I'm saying on this load management is getting completely out of hand.
It is.
At least with Tim Duncan was over 32, 33 years of age when they started doing that. But we got guys that's 22, 20. How is Zion Williams getting load management? The guy, he's 21 years old.
This is my thing. If you got 12 guys on your team, how are you load managing anybody? Why don't you just sub in the other guys that's on the bench? Don't let them guys play all damn game.
Let me ask you a question. You work, right?
Yeah.
So if every 2 days you got that day off, who gets a day off every 2 games? If you
Kawhi.
Kawhi work, and I think he's one of my favorite players in the league. But he plays 3 games and he's off. And I'm like, what guy that works out here every day gets that opportunity, or what girl out here get that opportunity to be like, you know what, I don't want to play today. I'm gonna sit out this day. I don't think it helps, because back in the day, you didn't see Isaiah Thomas getting load management. You didn't see Michael Jordan getting load management. You didn't see Scottie Pippen getting load management. You didn't see none of the greats getting load management.
And maybe that's why Doc Rivers left, man, because, I mean, how can you build chemistry on the court if your main guy is not playing all the time?
Yeah, and you have to get that camaraderie. You have to see who's going to take that last shot. And if every 3 games Kawhi Leonard's out the lineup, or now they're doing it with Paul George, we just talked about that on the last segment where Paul George sat out the last 2 minutes of the game. And he had 34 points in that game, and he was hot. He just hit a 3.
But that's been an issue with some of the Clipper players that, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are getting special treatment. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's why Montrezl Harrell left.
I mean,
I don't know.
It could be, but look, LeBron James just had an interview not too long ago, and he said that he doesn't need load management, and that's what I want to hear from the face of the NBA. He said he go out here and play. He just played 43 minutes, even though they lost to the Wizards. He played 43 minutes, and he's playing the last 5 or 6 games. He's played the most minutes, like far as average, since he was 21 in 2006.
Because he's got to. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers they lost a lot.
But I'm like, how are players under 30 getting load management? I think the NBA, if you're listening, y'all need to make a change about this load management, because if I'm a season ticket holder, I come to see the star players play. No disrespect to the people on the bench, but that's how y'all sell tickets. Y'all have guys that's on TV taking breaks.
But that's the whole gripe. A lot of those guys end up getting hurt if they playing too many minutes. But I don't know. It's just a situational thing.
When you was a kid, didn't you play ball all day? I mean,
all day
long. We didn't get hurt then. All of a sudden, you play your whole high school career, you don't get hurt then.
And then if I did get hurt, I still played.
Right. Did you see anybody in college playing their whole season and getting hurt? You see guys playing a whole year. You never really see any significant injuries, but then all of a sudden you get to the pros and you need load management. Hey, I don't know about that. I don't know about you. I don't agree with it. I think it needs to change. You don't see people in the NFL getting load management.
They just
and they actually getting hit.
Right, they just get hurt and be off a few games.
I don't even see baseball players who play 162 games getting load management. They get a couple days off, but
because they standing around.
We're not even going there, man. But this is Against the Grain Sports, man. Hey, tell me what you think about load management, please, man. I think it needs to be done away with. I think it needs to be something done about that, man.
It do.
But please leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the page and like it. It's Against the Grain Sports. It's my man
Jerod McCain.
and I'm Jody Coleman. Sports our way.